A lot of people hear discipline and extreme discipline, and they think, oh, okay, that means I've got to work 20 hours a day. I've got to wake up at 3 a.m. every single day. I've got to work until I'm blue in the teeth and I'm collapsing. Definitely not. It actually requires discipline to enforce balance on yourself. So discipline is literally, in my eyes, the most important word when it comes to building a startup, doing well in school, becoming a professor. Like literally anything that you want to achieve starts with that standard that you hold for yourself and how you apply that. And again, it does not mean overwork. It means the opposite. It means imparting correct discipline and balance on yourself. You can become a CEO at 22. That's unbelievable. It's another level. You can become an MD at 26. It can be done. But at the same time, if there's someone who is older and trying to give you their wisdom and saying experience, I don't believe there's any need to look at that person and say, what are you talking about? I don't need experience, because it has a huge amount of value. That's for sure.
You know, I learned a lot already. I'm sure you guys have. So it's already coming to that time where I can't have Josef anymore on the show because he has his next meeting. But before I let you go, I want to ask you one last question, and that is, for those entrepreneurs or employees who have a side business or are thinking of jumping ship and starting their own thing, what would be your one big advice?
One advice is extremely difficult for this question, but let's give it a shot. But I think if there's anything to prioritize, and purely speaking from experience, because I don't believe like I am anyone to preach to anyone, right? I'm just like everybody else who's just trying stuff and making mistakes and just doing our best and moving one step at a time, right? So, but what I personally went through is what I'm going to recommend, which is a personal amount of attention, which is really looking after yourself and starting right there. Doesn't matter how brilliant the idea is or how magnificent the team is. If you are not in the right state of mind and in the right point of your life to be able to actually really give it what it takes to make something like this work. I'll give you, I mean, my own personal journey was, you know, you were saying earlier about this guy with no vices and 100% vegan, all this, like, it didn't start that way, right? For sure. And there's a reason behind that. And I think there's a reason behind most people who you meet with those kinds of extreme things, because they really probably went through something. And I was one of those guys, and I definitely did not have everything in line, and I did not like myself whatsoever before those changes. I really didn't. And it was, of course, holding me back in business because I just didn't feel like I was the right kind of person to drive anything like this, let alone make an impact or inspire people. So I quit drinking completely. I quit smoking completely. Yes, I took on meditation and became vegan. It sounds ludicrous, like I'm one step shorter of spending time in a monastery, which is, you know, but jokes aside, this acted as the catalyst to actually teach me the most important life lesson, which I think is, you know, the thing which I live by the most, which is discipline. And let's be careful here to distinguish discipline from burnout or overworking, because they're very different things. A lot of people hear discipline and extreme discipline, and they think, oh, okay, that means I've got to work 20 hours a day. I've got to wake up at 3 a.m. every single day. I've got to work until I'm blue in the teeth and I'm collapsing. Definitely not. It actually requires discipline to enforce balance on yourself. So discipline is literally, in my eyes, the most important word when it comes to building a startup, doing well in school, becoming a professor. Like literally anything that you want to achieve starts with that standard that you hold for yourself and how you apply that. And again, it does not mean overwork. It means the opposite. It means imparting correct discipline and balance on yourself. So that then really helped me, because it showed me that I became better at my job. It allowed me to get a strong position at Penn Brothers and learn all of these different skills. It allowed me the time and space and understanding that I could then be ready in my personal life to go and start my own business, which was humble, which was a dream and a passion at the time. And now it's thankfully grown into, you know, this, it's still just a seed, but what's before a seed, like an atom or something. Maybe that's what we've grown into, an atom, a medium-sized atom. And that's really helped us. And whether that's discipline in, you know, health, so making sure that the diet is right, looking after yourself in terms of going to the gym, waking up every morning, having that routine, like simple, quick wins like that get you feeling good and get you in the right frame of mind mentally and physically, is just astronomically important because it acts as the catalyst for everything else. When you find that you can do those little things every day with discipline, even starting with making your bed, little things like that, and spirit on for health, then starting a business just becomes one of those other routine things that discipline allows you to actually embark on. Everything else then will just grow and will just become the catalyst, because if your personality already starts getting used to that, then having the discipline to really run a business is just another thing. It's just another run that day, right? Having that regular run schedule, just that another improved diet. Starting a business, same thing. Yes, of course, it's complicated and you need to have skills and good friends and good family and good teams and all of that stuff. But if you are in the right mindset and you can actually, have the level of discipline to make it work, then everything else follows because of it. So rather than obsessing over the idea or obsessing over whether the timing is right or whether you have enough money to start the business, that's the most common one, I think. Forget all of that stuff. And first look at, am I right? Am I ready in my personal life to be able to actually go on something like this? Because if you are, everything else will follow.
Completely agree with that. The statistics are 90% of startups fail. And a lot of people say, they fail because of the economy, because of luck, because of cash flow. But in reality, the real reason why 90% of startups fail is because of the founder and it's the founder's behavior. And they lack discipline. That's the root of it also. I completely agree with you on that. And by the way, you have to teach me how you do it. Vegan, meditation, I have to learn those things. But yeah, if I could be on that path, I'd give an arm and a leg for it. But that's for another podcast recording. So Josef, thank you so much. And if people want to know more about you, where can they find you?
I think I'm only on LinkedIn in terms of social media platforms. So for sure, please feel free to reach out to me directly via LinkedIn. Josef Werker, Josef Werker. LinkedIn. I don't think there are many of me for sure. Kind of a weird name. Otherwise, you can also visit the Humble website and input an inquiry through there. However you want to reach me is absolutely fine. Would love to hear from people. And can I just also take this opportunity to thank you as well for this opportunity? Really, I'm always kind of shocked that people are willing to sit through a few minutes of me talking at them. So thank you sincerely for this. I mean, again, I'm just like everybody else, trying my best on one of these journeys and extremely early in my own lifespan of going through this journey. I don't know very much. I enjoy speaking to other people who do know a lot. So thank you for letting me learn from you also. And all the people out there, I hope I can hear from you and learn from you one day too. So thank you again for this.
Hey, it's my pleasure and my privilege. And, we're not so far apart. I'm 32, founded my own company 10 years ago. I'm still learning. I've learned a lot from you tonight, and this show is a work of love and passion. We're not making money from it. In fact, it's the opposite way. I'm funding it entirely from SEO Hacker. And, this is a show where we're trying to pay it forward, much like how you are doing it with Humble. You guys may be for profit, but I do 100% agree that social enterprises should be for profit. I don't completely agree with nonprofit enterprises because of the sustainability. And this is why a lot of nonprofit companies, they have problems with corruption, dishonesty, and just a boatload of problems happening inside. So I completely agree with what you do. I believe in it. Even if it is a medium-sized atom right now, I believe it's going to be an atomic bomb, right? So it's something that I believe in, and I love this episode. Thank you for agreeing to be on the show.
Oh, hey, and since you're here, can you do me a favor? Can you hit on the subscribe button and hit the bell button and select all notifications so that whenever we have a new video, you're going to be the first one to know. Until then, keep leading.
You have a sense of the court, who's where and at what time, who's running and at what time. It's like court sense because you played so well so many times in so long a span of time. You get better at it because your brain is just subliminally doing a lot of stuff. That's how it feels like with SEO. I've been doing it for over a decade. I feel like I understand Google in a very deep level.